What's up everyone, it's Josh here. In this vlog is my epic adventure where I go sailing in Antigua with the easyTravelseat and the amazing Jubilee Sailing Trust. I wanted to give you the experience from when we left the UK right to the moment we landed back in Gatwick, highlighting all the challenges and the most incredible experiences along the way. So sit back, grab a cuppa and enjoy the video. Hey guys, today's the day. We are on our way to Gatwick to catch our flight with Virgin this morning to Antigua as part of the trip with the Jubilee Sailing Trust and the Stelios Philanthropic Foundation. Nerves are starting to settle in now, certainly around the toileting and the manual wheelchair when we get to the other side. Leaving my electric chair is going to be a big thing. We just pulled into the service now to grab a drink. I've not dehydrated myself at this moment in time. I'm going to try and keep myself hydrated. One of the biggest problems with people in wheelchairs who can't transfer themselves to the toilet is going to the toilet on an aircraft. It's a big problem. A lot of people do or prevent themselves from drinking just so they don't go to the toilet on a plane. So we're going to try and challenge the status quo and keeping my hydrations up and see how the toileting goes on board the aircraft once we get there. So it's going to be an interesting trip. So we've made it through into departures. We are in the duty-free area. The special assistants were really good. They picked us up out the drop-off point outside the terminal. They assisted us with taking our luggage from the car and transferred me using the easyTravelseat into manual wheelchair, which you'll see later on in the video. It was difficult to record, there was so much chaos this morning outside, but the gentleman who was helping us was really nice, very friendly, helped us all the way through, got us checked in with Virgin. I think the special assistants here at Gatwick today has been pretty good. We arrived, they rang through to say, because we advised we needed help, and they were there within 10 minutes. They pushed us all the way up through into the airport, and it was a breeze. So we're just having a little nosy around, and then we're going to go and find our gang of crew that we're going to be with for the next 10 days or so. So we made it on a bit of a palaver today with Virgin. They allowed the general passengers to board first. Caused a bit of a stir. We were sat out waiting by the fuselage door for probably 15 to 20 minutes before I boarded. A bit of a communication error between the airline ground handlers and special assistants. So we were meant to have been here for 9:15, and we were told to get to the desk back up at the airport at 9:25. So there was a massive communication issue which caused significant problems with getting the staff down to board all of us disabled passengers. Virgin have apologised to us for what's happened, but again it still doesn't set the standard of PRMs boarding first. So let's hope it's not like this on the way back. But we've met the crew. Got to give us a wave. Now halfway through the flight. I've not needed the toilet just yet. Things seem to be going quite well. I'm feeling really good. Looking forward to getting to Antigua now. Be interesting to see if I need the loo in the next 4 hours, 4.5 hours. I think we've got to go. I've been keeping my fluids up, so I've not overdrank, but I've probably underdrank slightly. But it's still going okay. Everyone's having a good time so far. Food was good. There was a bit of a delay getting on this morning. We have had an apology from the staff, so that's good enough for me at the moment. Antigua, it's lush out here. It's about 28 degrees, nice breeze. When we landed, it was a bit of a palaver again. In Antigua, they don't actually have any aisle chairs, so we had to get off the aircraft in the toilet chair to get us off the aircraft to then lift onto or back into our wheelchairs. So for folk that struggle with the aisle chair, those toilet chairs, they're okay, maybe a little bit softer, but they offer no sort of back or head support, which could be a problem for quite a lot of folk. And also the guys didn't actually lift us off the plane. It was the crew that we were with, so I don't know if they actually lift or not. But never mind, we've made it here and it's really nice. Guys, give us a wave. Give us a wave. Unexpected tone. We've arrived and the minibus doesn't have a ramp. What do you want to say? So I'm just had to be lifted in the easyTravelseat up into a van right now. Four guys, but we're in and apparently it's going to be a regular occurrence. So this is pretty big, but we got in no problem at all. Been out of my comfort zone, but it's a good test for the easyTravelseat and putting it to its test. Let's see how we get on.
Welcome on board Tenacious to the wonderful sunny Caribbean. But it was before you arrived. So, these are the Eastern Caribbean islands here, and we're in what's known as the Leeward Islands at the top end there, and that's where we are in Antigua here. So we've got a week to play around. Generally the wind blows quite fresh from this direction. I don't know if you've heard the term trade wind, I'm sure most of you have, I should say. So it's blowing pretty freshly across here. And when we came in today from Guadeloupe, it was blowing quite hard. But this is easing down a little bit.
On ship, we've had our briefing, which has been pretty interesting to see how we've got our watch and we've got cards. So you'll see over the next couple of days with this blog how we have to get up at different times throughout the day and watch the ship and do mess and lots of other interesting stuff. So it's going to be an interesting couple of days. I'm now in the bed in our dorm. It's actually very small and there's not a lot of room. We've got a ceiling hoist there. It's a bit of a challenge to get me into the bed. We have to kind of lower myself down and then push myself, or my dad has to push me across under the bunk, and then I have to lower the hoist down. Once I'm down, he then pushes me across. So that's it for day one. Guys, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Dad's awake, Dad's asleep, and I've not long woken up. We've got to be up today in about 15 minutes for breakfast. Breakfast every day is at 8 o'clock. Then the morning's to ourselves, I think. There's some safety stuff we have to do. And then this afternoon we're going up to Shirley Heights. So I'm hoping to grab a video of me being lifted for you guys in the van. So hopefully today will be a great day. Today I'm going to do some emergency evac stuff. Going up the stairs.
And if you look underneath, they have been fitted on different wheelchairs in different ways. And the main difference is that is because what we want them to do is when they go onto this job, that they pull you up in an equal manner.
I might just get your dad's bum and like the whole thing. Woo, shaked it. Well done, Josh.
heights here in Antigua. The weather's been a little bit hit and miss, but it's very busy, as you can see. Again, it's been another interesting journey up here. It's all cobbled up here, not very good for wheelchairs, really. Manual wheelchairs are okay, but electric wheelchairs really struggle up here. It's not the best, very slopey and hilly, but I tell you what, the views are absolutely unbelievable. This is a really good experience. We're just about to have some food and have a few more drinks. This is the end of day 2 now. Our first full day, in fact. We got up this morning at 8, had breakfast, and then we were straight into training this morning with emergency drills, going to our emergency muster points or evacuation points where certain people in the muster crews were trained to winch all the wheelchair users from the lower mess into the upper mess. Something which I think back in the UK would be extremely frowned upon, or even on cruise ships, but in actual fact it was quite an exhilarating experience, actually, being winched up by 3 people on a bit of rope up some stairs. And when I find people complaining about simple things back home, you don't realise what it's like in these countries, or when you're on sailing ships like this, where these things can arise. So it's a massive eye opener. So we did that this morning, and then we had some lunch on the ship, and we then took a stroll down to the harbour and had a look at some of the bars and restaurants around there. Then we came back. Then we went to Shirley Heights. Shirley Heights was an unbelievable experience. Again, we had to be lifted into the minivan with 3 people this time. We got up, it was about a 20-minute drive from the English harbour. We got to the top. The weather wasn't so great. We did get some nice views. We had music was playing, the food was fantastic. Again, it's not wheelchair accessible, really very cobbly on a slope, a little bit dangerous, I would say, for manual and electric wheelchair users, to be honest, but nevertheless, for those that are willing to take the punt, it's definitely worthwhile going up there just to experience it. It's quite incredible, but very dangerous at the same time. In terms of toilets up there, I believe there's a big cubicle, but it's difficult to get to. But once you're in there, there's enough space to do what you need to do. But it's not an accessible toilet, that's for sure. And then we came back down. We had a few drinks down in the English harbour. Now we're back in bed. It's about just coming up to 10 o'clock, 10:30, sorry. And tomorrow we're set sail for Anguilla, which should be very exciting. We get the sails up tomorrow morning after breakfast, and that's it. So that's it for day 2. Unbelievable day. Looking forward to tomorrow, and actually set sail for Anguilla, which should be very exciting. We get the sails up tomorrow morning after breakfast, and that's it. So that's it for day 2. Unbelievable day. Looking forward to tomorrow, and actually getting out of here and doing a bit of sailing.
Normanton.
guys, so they've just finished happy hour, which means scrubbing the deck, giving it a good old clean, and they've done a pretty good job actually. There was sights of whales just a minute ago, starboard side. I couldn't quite see them, but we're keeping an eye out. The waves are starting to get quite large now as we make our way over to Barbuda. It's absolutely gorgeous over here. The wind's going and it's just unbelievable. Give me a wave, sir.
See you later, everyone. dad was having a bit of a freak out, a little freak moment just about 2 seconds ago. It's all good now. Good pops.
It's the beach buggy that made it.
Yeah, well, that's what Granny was like, oh my god, go and tell them Josh could get in this. Yeah! They're mine, thank you very much.
Hiya folks, this is just so hard. We're in paradise here. This is Princess Diana's beach. The water's more turquoise than I have ever seen it. We're having a wonderful, wonderful time up there.
We are indeed. This is the lady here who came up to me at Nadex and asked me if I'd like to go sailing after meeting Stelios last year with the Stelios Philanthropic Foundation. And I can't believe I said yes. And the hurdles that we've had to overcome, well, the hurdles I've had to overcome to get here, but it makes it all the worthwhile. So this is the lady that's made it happen. So thanks, Irene.
My pleasure.
It's the most photographed lobster in this year. You're naming him.
Quickly thank the Stelios Philanthropic Foundation, the Jubilee Sailing Trust for this fabulous opportunity getting out to Antigua. It's taken me quite a bit of courage to get here. Made it, it's definitely worth it. And if it wasn't for those guys and the fabulous crew on board and all the volunteers that made the trip possible, I wouldn't be here now. So I'd just like to say thanks to everyone. Just finished off day 5 today. We were anchored up outside Barbuda and we took the boats in to get to the beach. I would go with the easyTravelseat and the beach buggy with the headrest, and they strapped me in and everything went to plan. A massive thing for me today, so I'm really pleased. Dad's on mess duty, he's got to do mess duty, which involves all the cleaning, so I'm doing my blog, which I'm writing tomorrow morning. I think we're sailing back to Antigua, so I think we're setting off around about 8 o'clock in the morning. It's meant to be quite a similar sail to the other day, so once we get anchored up back in Antigua, I think we're looking at doing some ascending up to the mast, up to the top, to the crow's nest, which should be good fun. So we'll see what day 6 has in store. Morning guys, we're now on day 6. Just come down to the lower mess to have some breakfast. We are looking at sailing out this morning about 8 o'clock, de-anchoring, and then making on our way to Falmouth Harbour. So the crew pretty much most of them either up on watch duties or still getting up. So the weather today looks really nice. Feeling quite good today after yesterday. We'll see what today has in store. Hi guys, so we've made it back to Antigua. Really good sail this morning. picking up some good speed. So yeah, we've got here all in one piece, and we're just about to be winched up at the top. So it's looking quite interesting. I think I'm going to give it a go. Song first, and then we're going to look to use the easyTravelseat again to see how we get on. So here it goes. Successfully sailed out of Barbuda earlier this morning, and we set a sail for Antigua. I think we're just off the west coast of Antigua today now. We had a successful sail across, relatively choppy, but not as bad as earlier in the week when we set sail across to Bermuda. This afternoon, Dad has been on mess duties today, getting stuck in, cleaning, and helping everyone with breakfast and things like that, whilst I wrote a blog this morning as part of my duty for JST. When we got here today back in Antigua, we actually did some work where we all the wheelchairs sort of got winched up or winched themselves up to sort of the crow's nest, so to speak, and I managed to give it a go, and it was just the most fantastic moment ever, using the easyTravelseat to get hooked up and winched to the very top. It was quite a surreal moment. I think the crew that made it possible and the volunteers, you know, they were all there on hand. Just absolutely fantastic bunch of people. So I've thoroughly enjoyed today. Again, another big thing ticked off on my list of what I wanted to achieve out of this holiday, and I never thought that I would, you know, be able to come sailing in these conditions and, you know, navigate our way through the bunk here in Tenacious. It's very small, very challenging for somebody with my condition, but you know, we proved that it's possible. The crew have proved that it's possible, and the volunteers on the ship have proved that, you know, it's all possible. And you know, that what everybody on this ship's achieved this week really shows that you can do anything, and it's just the most amazing experience. We've got 2 days left now. We will be de-anchoring back into, you know, we'll be anchoring back out, where we will then be going into Falmouth Harbour here, where we will then be towed, and we will be there until Saturday before we leave. So everything should be quite calm now, and looking forward to exploring a bit more of Antigua tomorrow. We've got no more watch duties now, so that's it for us, I believe, and we look forward to a couple of relaxing days before we come home. Hey guys, so we've made it back into Falmouth Harbour here in Antigua. We're now on our last full day of the 7 days here. We've had a fabulous 7 days of sailing. It's been a bit bumpy. We've learnt a lot. The guys are just about to go climbing up to the mast that I did yesterday, but you know, actually climbing it rough and being winched up. And we're in for a pantomime tonight down in the lower mess before we pack up and get off the boat tomorrow. Hey guys, so we're just down in the lower mess. Apparently every year they do a end of voyage pantomime. It's James Bond theme, I believe. So I think we're in for quite a show. So looking forward to it.
Doctor Who and Mr. Chew. Now there's definitely one cast member here tonight who is not a virgin, and that is Lady Caroline.
Welcome to my secret hideaway, the headquarters of the wicked. But I've seen this voluptuous young woman swimming by the beach.
So, it's dinner time! To fancy!
Taste of apples, this tastes of pears, and this tastes of plums.
Oh, that's easy! It's fruit gums!
Enter his web of sin.
guys, so we were in Antigua Airport, VC Bird International, and the lifts were broken to go through security, so we had to go through arrivals and then up through the connecting flight security check-in. And believe it or not, they actually asked us to get out of our wheelchairs so that they could see the cushions. And of course, I didn't get out of my wheelchair, but we had to be quite authoritative with them to say that I couldn't stand. And eventually, you know, they understood that, and we're finally through. But it was a bit of a faff. We've got about 7 other wheelchairs yet to go through, so it could be quite interesting. But yeah, we're here and we're going to be on our way home shortly. We do have a 5-hour delay. Because we've been here since 2 o'clock this morning, 2 o'clock this afternoon, sorry. And I'm really starting to need the toilet at number 2. And obviously in Antigua there is no changing places toilets. The toilet's very small, there's no chance of me going in there. And I know for a fact that on Virgin there is just no way of me being able to go to the toilet or to sit on the toilet. So it looks like I'm going to have to wait at least until we land in Gatwick, which is going to be, I think, around 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, which is at least another, it's at least another 11 hours yet until such times I'm going to be remotely anywhere near a toilet. So it's a bit of a shame. I probably would have needed the toilet regardless anyway on the flight by now, even without the delay. But the point is I still wouldn't be able to go, so it's a really big issue. But let's see how we go out for the rest of the